Back in those days, holding guitar in hand, humming folk songs, and spending time making small talk among friends was an essential part of my college life. As I attended the Art Institute, I, Steve, began to immerse myself in oil painting. At that time, my girlfriend Catherine wore floral blouses and bell-bottom jeans with flair, making her a truly stylish woman. She had a determination, and her paintings stood out, promising a bright future in the art world. As for me, well, I wasn't exactly top of the class. I was an average student and often teased by peers saying we were like chalk and cheese. Yet, Catherine would always defend me, saying, "Steve is who I have chosen, no matter what anyone says." Whenever she said that, I felt a mix of embarrassment and happiness. Plus, Steve has a charm that only I know. Oh, what kind of charm is that? The mole on your ear maybe. What? Seriously. It's sexy, you know. I loved it when she joked like that. By junior year, everyone was busy with job hunting. Catherine, however, was vigorously promoting her paintings, determined to make a living as an artist. I've secured a spot for my paintings at a gallery. That's awesome. The owner seems to really like my work. Your paintings are indeed captivating, Catherine. Motivated by her dedication, I also decided to pursue a career in painting rather than settling for a regular job. Steve, the sunsets you paint have a unique allure. Hearing Catherine's praise, I replied, "Yeah, I'm planning to sell more and more of my paintings." That's the spirit. This sunset has such a passionate red hue. The vermilion stands out. Thanks. With her encouragement, my creative drive only grew stronger. I dream of a day when we can host our own exhibition. It doesn't have to be in a grand place, but we'll display our best work, showcasing our emotions and journey at the time. Wouldn't that be wonderful? The thought of such a future with Catherine seemed so bright to me. Our college days passed by in a flash, and after graduation, we lived together for about 3 years before our marriage. We became a couple chasing the same dream. While I worked part-time jobs to make money, the rest of my time was devoted to painting and promoting my work. Catherine, on the other hand, frequently visited art dealers, held regular exhibitions, and started to gain recognition with her artwork selling well. Contrastingly, I was beginning to doubt my own talent. Your paintings, they don't really have commercial appeal. They lack vitality, you know. Hearing comments like these became all too familiar. Another dead end today. How many dealers have I visited this month? Facing the harsh reality of not being able to sell my paintings made me increasingly despondent. Catherine is starting to make a name for herself. Comparing myself to her success led to many gloomy days. Is this really where I'm meant to be? Maybe I'll never be able to sell a painting. Was I ever truly talented at painting to begin with? Even if I continue painting, there might be no future in it for me. With these thoughts, I started considering getting a regular job. And one day, I shared this with her. "Catherine, I'm thinking about getting a job at a regular company." She looked at me with wide eyes for a moment, clearly surprised, then replied nonchalantly, "Why not? That's it," I pressed. "Why should I disagree to a decision you've made, Steve? I assume you've given it a lot of thought. If that's what you want, then I understand." Irritated by her response, I snapped, "You're just looking down on me because you think you're talented, aren't you? You shouldn't be so self-deprecating. I'm just saying I shouldn't interfere with your personal decisions. You're a successful artist, Catherine. You don't understand how I feel. Why? Why do you have to say it like that? It's tough, you know, being with you, always comparing myself. I don't think I can be with you any longer. We don't even have kids. Maybe we should get a divorce while we still can." Catherine, looking down, replied softly, "If that's what you want, Steve, then okay." Her casual acceptance left me stunned. I thought, if we're going to get a divorce, it's best if both parties agree and understand why. The next day, I went to the city hall to pick up the divorce papers, signed them, packed my things, and left our apartment. After leaving Catherine, I rented a place with the little money I had and desperately searched for a job, but reality was harsher than I'd imagined. What did you do after graduating from art school? I worked part-time at restaurants and tried to promote and sell my paintings at art dealerships. Even when I passed the document screenings and got an interview, the interviewers often looked unimpressed after seeing my resume. What's their deal? Why invite me for an interview if they're just going to react like that? How many rejections have I had this month? Geez, job hunting is just as tough. Maybe I should just settle for day labor. But just when I thought that, someone from a printing company, who appreciated my background, approached me. We've been looking for someone with design skills. Please work for us. Thank you. I'll do my best. My art school lessons and design principles had finally paid off. I was grateful for landing a job after all the struggle. I've got to keep pushing on. From then on, I worked relentlessly to make up for lost time. Day in and day out, I was engrossed in my job. I didn't hang out with friends or drink. I just worked late every night. Today, there's issues talked about overwork, but back then, I just thought it was normal to work all hours. Of course, relationships and any thoughts of remarrying were the furthest things from my mind. Aren't you ever going to remarry, Steve? Every time someone asked, I would think of Catherine. I wonder what she's doing now. Though I cared for her, I knew we could never meet again. She's probably found someone else by now. I tried to accept the harsh reality by thinking that way. Before I knew it, 40 years had passed since I'd started working, and suddenly, I was 65 and ready for retirement. I've aged so much. Staring into the bathroom mirror, I let out a deep sigh. I hardly recognized the man with thinning white hair and a face full of wrinkles staring back at me. I'd considered leaving the company, but they offered to keep me on as a contract worker. With more free time on my hands, I started frequenting a local bar and, for the first time at 65, learned how to truly enjoy a drink in a relaxed, friendly atmosphere. Welcome. Steve, your usual spot at the counter is free. The little diner in the neighborhood was run by a lone lady owner who patiently listened to the regulars vent and sometimes chatter. Steve, you used to paint, right? You mentioned it once before. Oh, that was decades ago. The topic the lady owner brought up caught the attention of a regular named Sam. I'd love to see your paintings, Steve. I can't really paint anymore. I replied with a wry smile, and the lady owner asked again. But skills like that aren't easily forgotten, right? I wonder. Show me next time. It seems Sam really wants to see my paintings. If I get the chance. When would that chance be? The lady owner changed the subject. Oh, by the way, Steve. Yeah, a friend of mine is having an exhibition at a gallery. You should check it out, she said, offering a postcard. A group exhibition titled Nostalgia. There are some really impressive pieces. You should go see. Come to think of it, I haven't seen any art in a long time. Haha, I don't get art at all. Then, Sam, you wouldn't get Steve's paintings either. But Steve's paintings are great because they're Steve's. Sam, what's that supposed to mean? Come on, it's our friendship, isn't it? You have a point. I'll check it out on my day off. A few days later, I visited the gallery mentioned on the postcard. In a cozy space, there were a few paintings and sculptures on display. Paintings are really something. I was feeling nostalgic. While I was slowly looking at the artworks, my gaze fixed on one painting. It has such a powerful presence. With a fiery red sun as its backdrop, their eyes shone eerily prominent. I was drawn to the painting, unable to look away. Do you like that painting? A woman standing in front of me asked. Yes, I used to paint myself, Seeing these vibrant red tones reminded me of that, though of course I couldn't bring out this level of intensity. I then glanced at the nameplate of the artwork. Taken aback by the surprise, I caught my breath. The name written there was that of my ex-wife. Wait, Catherine. The woman looked puzzled and continued. Do you happen to know Catherine? We dated in college, then got married, but divorced soon after. It's been 40 years since our divorce. Oh my God, are you Steve? Yes, I am. I see. She whispered and continued her story. This is a painting by my friend, Catherine. She passed away from cancer at the young age of her 30s. We're displaying it today in her memory. What? She passed away? No way. I was so shocked, I couldn't find the words. She talked about you until the very end. Catherine did. Catherine always regretted thinking that she might have crushed your talent. What? She was tormented by the thought that the more she pursued her art, the more you felt cornered. That can't be. She said she had no choice but to break up with you because she couldn't stand to see you suffer. I had no idea Catherine had been so concerned about me. I was overwhelmed with emotion and at a loss for words. Steve, I have something to give you. To me? Yes. She brought out a set of oil painting tools from the back. These are the art materials Catherine used. I'm sure she'd want you to have them. But I've given up on painting. I've hung up my brushes. Steve, when she painted this, Catherine said she wanted to recreate the vibrant red you used to paint with so passionately. I was speechless. She believed that if she could capture that shade of red, it might bring back memories of that time. Oh, Catherine, please paint again, for Catherine's sake. She would have wished for it. With that, she handed me the art materials. Only the red paints are used up. I looked at Catherine's painting again. She too looked at the artwork. Catherine must have put her heart and soul into the color red. Jer, it's such a powerful red. Holding the vermilion paint, I couldn't hold back my tears. Later, I set up a canvas at home and started sketching, inspired by an old drawing of Catherine. It's been decades since I last painted. My skills are rusty. Looking at the sketch, memories flooded back. If you're going to paint, make it beautiful. She had shyly said that while posing for me. Catherine's face flashed in my mind. I'll paint you as the radiant beauty you are. Wow, Steve, this painting of a woman is so full of energy. It's a masterpiece. Come on, Sam, you always know what to say. From then on, I started painting again, and today I rented a small gallery to showcase the paintings I did for Catherine. At the center of the room was a large canvas with Catherine painted in it, shining passionately against a bright red sunset. During the morning rush hour, the train station was packed with people. What caught my eye right in front of the ticket gates was a woman who had been bumped into by a man walking with momentum, causing her to kneel on the ground. In the process, her glasses fell off her face and landed on the ground. A passerby who walked past her stepped on and crushed those glasses. The sound of a crack echoed in my ears. In shock from the scene unfolding before me, I quickly approached the woman and spoke to her. Are you okay? My name is John. I'm a 42-year-old single man who has never been popular with the ladies, having no girlfriend for as long as I've lived. Since graduating from college, I've always worked at the headquarters of a major travel agency, living a life without any significant promotions. I don't really have any hobbies, and my only pleasure is going to explore cafes on weekends. I don't have any friends to hang out with either. But I always thought I was pretty happy. The job is easy, my income is stable, and financially, I'm doing just fine. My parents back home are healthy, without any illnesses, living their lives in good spirits. However, a time came that threatened my peaceful life. There was a change in my department's management. The new boss was named Richard. 5 years older than me, and he had a terrible attitude, always picking on others. He always made fun of me for being single. Is that why you're over 40 and still can't get married? I guess even women can tell when a guy's incompetent at work, huh? Every day, I was subjected to such constant snide remarks, and no matter what I did, I was always criticized. This wore me down mentally, and the little motivation I had for my job completely vanished. I admit, I'm not the best at my job. I'm clumsy, slow, and I tend to make careless mistakes. It's hard for me to learn new things, and I just mechanically go through my daily tasks without being able to adapt to unexpected situations. Still, I believed I was doing my best in my own way, but to my boss, I seemed to be nothing but a source of irritation. Then one day, I got a sudden call from my boss, Richard, who was on a business trip in a remote area, perhaps somewhere like Nebraska, and he was furious. "John, you gave me the wrong time for today's meeting, didn't you?" The client was livid. "What are you going to do about it?" "Wait, what are you talking about? You told me the meeting was at 4 p.m., right? It wasn't at 4 p.m., it was at 2 p.m. We were 2 hours late. Do you realize how embarrassing that was?" "But, I clearly told you it was at 2 p.m. "Shut up. Just shut up, you useless fool. I remember clearly telling him it was at 2 p.m. It wasn't my mistake." But Richard wasn't willing to listen. "Because of you, we couldn't seal the deal with the client's hotel. We traveled all the way out here for nothing. This is on you, and you will be held responsible. Today's meeting is with a long-established luxury inn in a popular tourist destination. If we couldn't secure a contract with them, it would be a significant blow to our company." From that day on, the headquarters was bustling, searching for alternative inns and making changes to our plans. And just as Richard had said, in April of the following year, I was transferred from the headquarters to a branch in the suburbs. It's what you'd call a demotion. The branch was over an hour-and-a-half commute from my home. But I felt relieved to be away from Richard. Being a perpetual rank-and-file employee with no hopes of promotion, I thought a demotion wouldn't matter much. That's what I tried to convince myself of. I figured I'd get used to the customer service tasks I wasn't fond of over time. On my first day at the new job, I saw a woman fall at the station and approached her to help. "Are you okay? Are you hurt?" The woman took my hand and slowly got up. "I can't find my glasses. I can't see anything without them," she said with concern. But her glasses had been smashed on the ground. When I explained this to her, she looked distressed. "What am I going to do? The optician won't be available at this hour. I can't go to work like this." The woman was a beautiful individual, probably in her early 30s. "Do you have a spare pair of glasses at home?" I asked, and she nodded. "Yes, I have an old pair I used to wear." "In that case, let your workplace know you'll be late and head back home. I'll guide you to the taxi stand." "Really, thank you so much for your kindness." She bowed deeply in gratitude. Afterward, I let her hold onto my arm and led her to the taxi stand in front of the station. She thanked me repeatedly, got into a taxi, and left. Darn it, I need to get to the office quickly. Today's my first day at the new branch I've been transferred to. Helping a woman with broken glasses at the station and then being late was totally unexpected. I hurriedly arrived at my workplace and checked the time, luckily making it right before the start time. I quietly peeked inside and approached the oldest-looking guy in the room. Though, he only seemed to be in his mid-30s. He looked younger than me. "Hello, I'm John, transferred here from the headquarters." "Oh, you're John. I've heard about you. I'm Mike, the assistant manager. The branch manager will be a bit late today." Saying this, Mike began giving me instructions. "John, this is your desk. First, please familiarize yourself with all the brochures we have on display at the front." "Understood." I followed his instructions, picking up each travel brochure from the front and began reviewing them at my desk. About an hour later, a woman entered the office. "Good morning, Emily." Mike greeted her. "Morning. Sorry I'm late." I looked up from my desk to see her face. "Oh," I couldn't help but exclaim. Turns out, the woman referred to as the manager was the same woman I helped at the station this morning, the one who broke her glasses. However, she didn't seem to recognize me. It made sense. She couldn't see my face back then without her glasses. "Have we met somewhere before?" she asked with a puzzled look after I unintentionally raised my voice. No, I mistook you for someone else." I blurted out the response without thinking. "I see. I'm the branch manager, Emily. Nice to meet you," she said with a smile, her brown-framed glasses suiting her perfectly. And so, my first day at the branch began. That evening, the staff threw a welcome party for me. We gathered around a table at a local bar near the office, toasted, and engaged in various conversations. Emily sat next to me. Honestly, having a boss who's probably a decade younger and a woman at that seemed a bit awkward. But once I got to know her, I found that Emily was a very polite woman who showed proper respect for her elders, even to a subordinate like me. At the same time, she didn't hold back when she needed to say something as a superior, making it easy to work with her. "You work at a slow pace, but you are very meticulous, aren't you? With your calm and gentle way of speaking, I bet the customers feel at ease." Emily complimented me like that. Even when I made small mistakes, she said, "Everyone makes mistakes. As long as you take responsibility and handle it properly, it's all good." She would encourage me. I grew quite fond of her. She's a stark contrast to my former boss. She's a good person. Not just the manager, but all the staff were kind and cheerful, creating a warm and friendly work environment. Thanks to Emily, I gained confidence, gradually got used to the customer service tasks, and began to enjoy my work. Seeing the satisfied faces of the customers I attended to gave me a pleasant sense of accomplishment. However, one day after work, I decided to grab a drink and a bite to eat. I stopped by a local tavern near the office by myself. Isn't that Emily and the assistant manager? Unaware of my presence, they were engaged in a conversation. "If things keep going this way, our branch is headed for closure. We only have a month left until the headquarters deadline. Catching up now seems tough." "Closure? What's going on here?" I couldn't help but eavesdrop on their conversation. Emily, noticing me, seemed taken aback. "John, did you hear our conversation?" "Emily, what do you mean by closure? What's going to happen to our branch? To all of us?" "Well, now that you've heard, it's only fair to fill you in," she sighed. I was invited to join their table. The truth is, our branch has the lowest sales in the entire country. The headquarters told us that if we don't move up to at least the top 20 by the end of next month, they'll close our branch. Top 20, that's a tall order. Our company has over 50 branches nationwide. Jumping from the very bottom to more than halfway up the rankings seems almost impossible. With these thoughts, I looked at Emily's face, and she looked as if she was on the verge of tears. "I love everyone at our branch so much, but if we close down, everyone will be scattered apart. I just can't bear that thought." Tears welled up in her eyes as she spoke. Seeing her like that, I couldn't help but muster all my courage and say, "Don't worry, Emily. We still have time. Let's aim for a spot in the top 20 sales. First, we need to discuss this with everyone and pull together as a team." "You're right, John. We should definitely talk to everyone." The next day, Emily addressed the entire branch staff during the morning meeting, seeking their cooperation. "If anyone has a good idea that could increase our sales, please don't hesitate to suggest it." Upon hearing Emily's words, Mike quickly raised his hand. "Emily, how about we reconsider the layout of the store? Change the layout, Well, it might be worth a try. How about rearranging the brochures to make them more visible? What if we adjust the direction of the lighting? It feels a bit dim as it is. How about creating handwritten display signs? What about distributing flyers in front of the train station? Ideas were pouring in from the staff. A few days later, the store was noticeably brighter and livelier. Could it be due to the flyers we've been handing out near the train station? More customers started to visit our store. If things keep going this way, our sales might see a significant boost. I've been putting in overtime every day. After getting home, I read potential helpful books to increase sales, and I researched on the internet. I even gave up my days off to help distribute the flyers. This was the first time I'd ever been so consumed with my job, but it didn't feel like a burden. On the contrary, every day felt exciting. Striving towards a goal, it's such a joyous feeling. For the 20 years I spent at the headquarters, I dealt with the monotony of the same tasks every day, never feeling the satisfaction or motivation. The days felt so dull. But now, I wanted to give my all for Emily and everyone else. One day, a couple visited our store. Those folks were the honeymooning couple I had assisted before. "We brought back a gift for you, John, as a token of our appreciation." They were customers who had difficulty deciding on their honeymoon destination. They had disagreements and even almost canceled their plans. It was quite a challenging situation. "Thanks to you, we returned safely. Our honeymoon was fantastic. Thank you so much." The couple looked genuinely happy and grateful. The German sweets they gifted were shared among all the staff at our branch. I'd never felt so appreciated at work before. I was so overwhelmed with joy that I felt tears welling up. I decided then and there to continue serving all our customers wholeheartedly. A month later, the national sales rankings were announced. Our branch ranked 25th. We couldn't break into the top 20, but it was a significant improvement from being at the bottom. However, the business world is tough, and rules are rules. The next morning, during the staff meeting, Emily spoke. "We've officially been notified by the headquarters today. This branch will be closing at the end of this month." What? The staff were visibly deflated, with some even breaking into tears. "I believe most of you will be transferred to the headquarters or other branches. HR should contact you about your new placements soon." The manager continued with a somber expression. "Everyone, I know it's tough, but let's keep our chins up. Going from the bottom to the 25th rank is an incredible achievement. It's a testament to the hard work we all put in together. Let's take pride in what we've accomplished." Hearing the manager's words, the staff exchanged glances. "We did work hard, didn't we?" "Absolutely. It's an amazing accomplishment. How about we all go out tonight and celebrate?" "Sounds great." The staff chattered in agreement. I felt a great sense of accomplishment. The past month of working together and giving our best was fulfilling and fun. I'm not sure which branch I'll be transferred to next, but no matter where I go, I'll always cherish the memories of my time here and continue to give my best. On my way home from the celebratory drinks that night, Emily approached me. "John, can we have a private conversation for a moment?" "Oh, of course, I don't mind." The two of us entered a nearby bar and took seats at the counter. "John, I'll get straight to the point. Would you like to return to the headquarters? If you do, I can speak with HR to arrange a transfer for you." She looked intently into my eyes as she said this. "No, I don't wish to go back to the headquarters," I replied without hesitation. "Oh, may I ask why?" "Yes, I really enjoy interacting with customers directly. I believe I'm suited for customer service. It's a revelation I had only after coming to this branch." "I see. So you'd prefer to continue working at a branch then?" It seemed she was concerned about me, perhaps thinking I was transferred here from the headquarters as some sort of demotion. "Thank you, I appreciate your concern." Emily gave a shy smile in response. I'm truly grateful for everything you've done, John. Remember when you suggested that we break the news of the closure to everyone? That decision fostered a sense of unity among the staff and contributed to the increase in sales. Regardless of the final outcome, we all did great work together, and it was fulfilling. Well, I didn't do anything special. On the contrary, it was thanks to you, Emily, that I enjoyed my job so much. At the headquarters, I had a rough time with superiors. I told her about the supervisor at the headquarters, Richard. Despite being older and still single, he mocked me, constantly bullied me, and even falsely accused me of mistakes I didn't make, leading to my transfer. That sounds awful. You must have had a tough time, she said with sympathy. Then she looked at me with a determined expression and said, John, how about we get back at Richard? What? Can we really do that? Yes, actually, I'm the CEO's daughter. Right now, I'm here at the branch for training, but I plan to assist my father at the headquarters and learn the ropes of being the CEO. I couldn't do anything about the branch closure this time, but I do have some influence over HR. I was taken aback by her revelation. I had no idea she was the daughter of the CEO. Let's report Richard's bullying to HR. There should be some sort of action taken against him. I nodded deeply in agreement with her words. On our way back, as we walked side by side towards the station, she slipped and almost fell. In a split second, I reached out and supported her. Oh, thank you. No worries. It would be a hassle if your glasses broke again. She looked puzzled at my comment. Huh? How do you know about that? Oops. She hadn't realized I was the one who helped her that day. Could it be? Were you the one who helped me back then, John? Well, yes. So it was you. Oh my. You should have told me. My glasses were off, and I couldn't see clearly. I'm sorry I didn't recognize you. It's okay, but I'm glad I know now. I always wanted to properly thank the person who helped me that day. I was initially hesitant, but due to Emily's insistence, we decided to go out for a meal together. She said she wanted to treat me as a thank you for that day. Later, I was transferred to a different branch. Surprisingly, Emily was transferred there as well. Afterward, I heard that Richard from the headquarters was sent to a strict subsidiary company, rumored to be a kind of exile, thanks to Emily reporting his bullying. On the other hand, my accomplishments at the branch were recognized, and I was promoted to a department head. It's almost time for our reservation. Let's go. Today is the first time I'm having a meal alone with Emily. Even though I'm nervous, I'm really looking forward to it and hope this will be an opportunity to deepen our relationship. I'm very content with my new job, where I find the work enjoyable and fulfilling.